Welcome one and all nerds and nerdettes. It is now the answer edition to the Q&A video that I posted a couple of days ago that I said I was going to do a question and answer series. Got myself a little bottle of water because I'm going to fucking need it. I got like 20-something questions I'm going to do for this first part, and naturally there'll be other parts coming up after this one and all the other shit. So anyway, might as well get rolling right on into this with question numero uno, which is number one. Yellow Forever asks, if you got to choose one of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles to hang out with, who would it be and why? That's simple. It would be Michelangelo, because he's a party dude. Hooray, Teenage Mutant. No, Michelangelo was my favorite Ninja Turtle growing up, and as a full-grown adult and watches the show still, in the movies and all the other shit, Michelangelo is still my favorite. He was the fucking goofball of the entire bunch. He didn't really take shit serious. I know Raphael is like a second. If you ever watched my video where I talk about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles a whole bunch, then you probably already heard all of this. But if you haven't, then go watch that video. But anyway, Raphael's always been a close second. Leonardo I never really liked all that much. Donatello's really cool because he's smart and can make shit and all the other happy horse shit. But Mike was the man. As far as I'm concerned, he was one that I could closest relate to, I guess. So that's why I wouldn't want to go and hang out with Michelangelo, because he'd be the one to want to go and put a couple cases of beer and a couple of shots away with me, then go out and cause a whole bunch of fucking mischief and stuff. And then we'd sneak away and eat a whole bunch of pizza, which is my favorite food. Also, I blame Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles why that's my favorite food. But yeah, Michelangelo. Star Dragon JP asks, dude, you ever played Skitchin or Haunting starring Poltergeist? Damn Skippy, I played both those. I played them both back in the day, still play them now, and they're the shit. They are actually the prime examples of, I swear to you, Electronic Arts used to be an absolutely amazing company on all fronts. They were just awesome as fuck. And these games were, I mean, fucking proof of that. Skitchin, to begin with, to me, was always, like, to begin with, I like the music. I know a lot of people always try to give the Sega Genesis crap for its music. I actually thought Sega Genesis had its own real gritty fucking, like, metal sound. But Skitchin had badass music, and to me, it was kind of like, take the premise of something like Road Rash, and then just make it, you know, you're on rollerblades and shit, and there you go. That's essentially the same exact thing, just beating living shit out of people in a little racing game, and it was fun as fuck. I liked it a whole bunch for that reason alone. And Haunting starring Poltergeist, that's one of those games that even nowadays is still considered a very unique, very, like, rare type of game that you don't see all that often. I've actually talked about it a couple times in various videos, just in passing though, never like a dedicated video to it. But that you essentially end up getting to go and follow those family around and scaring the shit out of them, trying to make them leave their house. And all the stuff that you get to interact with, because you're a poltergeist, and not nearly as scary of a poltergeist as in the actual movie Poltergeist. That movie's fucking awesome, by the way. But this, you get to go and take control of all sorts of shit all throughout the house and stuff, and it scares the living fuck out of them. And the game can actually be pretty goddamn challenging, but it's cool just to see all the different shit that they have throughout the house. You can jump inside of a refrigerator, jump inside of a painting, jump inside of a couch, jump inside of a toaster, and you can fuck with all sorts of things. And there's like this little world that you get dropped into if you get all fucked up and stuff. And I don't know, it was just a really cool game, and considering the fact that I've, like, you know, ghosts and fucking all sorts of other scary shit, naturally was a game that I gravitated towards because that's my kind of thing. And especially for back then, because, like I said, you didn't get to see that stuff all that often. So, yeah, both those games, they get a big old thumbs up for me because they're fucking absolutely rad. How the fuck do I say your name? Miklos Pal Martin... fuck it. Your name's Mike. Alright, so Mike says, AlphaOmegaSin, if you could only use one of all the platforms for the rest of your life, not counting gens, Xbox, PlayStation, PC, Wii, Vita, etc., which one would you pick? That's simple. I pick PC. You wanna know why? Because I get to cheat with it. Because emulation, Dolphin emulator, I'd have Wii and Nintendo GameCube. Then I can go and get something like the Kega emulator, which would give me Sega Master System, Sega Genesis, Sega Game Gear. It would give me Sega CD, Sega 32X. SNES 9X, obviously, for Super Nintendo. Just, you know, the whole 9-yard EPSXE. All that kind of stuff would make me happy. That's why I'd end up going and picking PC. So, yeah. If I had to go and pick one console, though, if I had to go into, like, well, that's cheating! I'm like, fine. I guess I would go with first generation PlayStation 3, because it was backwards compatible with PlayStation 1 and PlayStation 2, so I at the very least would have 3 catalogs worth of gaming across 3 different generations, and again, I know that's bullshit, but I don't give a fuck! I at least got to pick something, so it doesn't matter. So, yeah, those two. I like variety, what can I say? Ed DeBolish said, hey, Alpha, your friendly neighborhood Bosch, or Boish, well, but Boish, here. Can I get a shout out? Okay. Here's your shout out. Anyway, can you do an impression of your favorite wrestler? P.S. Thanks for giving me a boost on my confidence. P.S.S. Game the fuck on. I'm gonna walk right into the SmackDown Hotel, track into room 316, and burn that son of a bitch to the ground. It's Stone Cold. That was like one of his coolest quotes, I thought, whenever he was rivaling with rivalry with The Rock. Seriously, they had the best rivalry in the entire universe back then. And also, they were like up and coming together, so always like that. And then his most famous quote, whenever he's like King of the Ring, and that's, yeah, talk about your John 3:16, Austin 3:16 says I just whooped your ass, and that always made me happy because, man, Stone Cold's fucking awesome. Or I could just go and try to roll my eyes back, be like, wait, I can't. No. Well, rest in peace. Yeah, I can't roll my eyes back like the Undertaker does, but yeah, those two. Those are my top 2 favorite wrestlers of all time, always will be, forever and ever and ever, until the end of time. But yeah, I fucking love those guys. Power Jusho asks, what, or Jusho? Maybe it's Jusho. I don't know, fuck it, yeah, Power Jusho. Power Jusho, Jusho. What are some Disney movies / shows you would like to see in Kingdom Hearts 3? I was actually talking about this recently. When I was growing up, I didn't get to watch a whole shit ton of Disney movies. I ended up watching a lot more Disney shows than I did movies, because my house was like a Looney Tunes house. We watched all things Looney Tunes, Animaniacs and Freakazoid and fucking Tiny Toon Adventures and shit. But as far as like TV shows go, I watched a lot of the Disney afternoon TV shows when I was growing up. I even had a little subscription to Disney Adventures and stuff. But one of the shows that I would say that I'd want to see on there is probably going to be Chippendale Rescue Rangers and DuckTales. Both of which were some of the best NES games by Capcom way back in the 8-bit era. But those would make for really cool little worlds. I'd also throw in Darkwing Duck just for the sheer fuck of it. I would like if they had like little sneaking missions and shit. It'd make you think of Batman Arkham City, Arkham Asylum, Arkham Origins, and soon to be Arkham Knight. But just a premise of something like that, maybe Tailspin. Since you get the gummy ship and you fly around and stuff, you'd already have the flying controls and just go into like some kind of crazy ass dog fights and stuff, and you could go and do some crazy shit like in Star Fox, do a barrel roll, but you're doing it with Baloo and Kid and stuff. But yeah, I'd pick all those shows, I'd cram them together and then put them out there because I think that would be fucking awesome. So yeah, if Square Enix is ever listening, which I know damn well they don't give a fuck about my YouTube channel, but those would be really awesome to go and toss into the Kingdom Hearts universe, as far as like Disney franchises are concerned with their TV properties and stuff. So yeah, I picked those. Jay Vasquez asks, what's the first metal band you were into? I'm gonna say I got into? Maybe that, fuck it, yeah, I got into, ha ha ha. So the first metal band that I got into would end up being Pantera. They were the first band that really got me invested into listening to music. I liked a lot of bands before that, but I wasn't really all that, interested in music, because I was still a little kid. Like, Guar, for example, Metallica, Typo Negative, my brother's band Asheron at the time. All that stuff I thought was really neat, but I didn't really, truly listen to music. It was just something I'm like, that sounds neat. And my sister, she listened to a whole bunch of hair metal and stuff. My mom liked classic rock and some metal. So I got to be around all that shit. I'd say Journey is definitely another band that I ended up liking just because whenever any of your family members or your really close friends are into something a whole bunch and you grow up around that, you kind of end up liking that because you get to see why it's so interesting to them, and you know, it just ends up rubbing off. But for me personally, Pantera was the band that got me into it. I still remember I had a stolen CD player, little portable CD player that I used to take with me on the bus whenever I go around places, and I remember the first CD that I had gotten for it was actually a single for Pantera's Walk. And I know it's their big fucking their big ballad song and all that shit, but it was one of those tunes that, you know, I had heard before. I liked a whole bunch, memorized all the fucking lyrics to it, not that it's all that difficult to do. But then after that I got Far Beyond Driven, and I got The Great Southern Trendkill. Then eventually I finally got the single that's from, which is Vulgar Display of Power. Got all those albums and stuff and became an instant fan, and that made me go and jump into a whole bunch of other things. Started listening to Anthrax, started listening to Slayer, started listening to Cannibal Corpse, started listening to Deicide, and just kept going and going and going all the way up until the crazy motherfucking metalhead that you see right here today. You know, going back to the classics like Iron Maiden and shit, and Judas Priest and stuff, and it's just, yeah, so I have to thank Pantera for all that. So, Mr. Pete 1985 asks, how many reproduction carts do you own, and what is your favorite? Altogether, I own 6. I have 6 in total of reproduction carts. I'd have to say, or actually no, I have 7. Sorry, I have 7 reproduction carts. I had actually forgotten about one that I had won from contest, but I'd have to say my favorite out of the entire bunch would end up being the very first one that I got, because it was the one that I wanted the most out of all of them, and that was the reproduction card from Time Walk Games of Sweet Home, which I did an unboxing of that because I was so fucking excited for it. But Sweet Home, which a lot of people know, is essentially kind of like the predecessor to the Resident Evil series, and a lot of people go and refer to it as one of the main reasons survival horror in general as a genre even exists, because it was there before it was coined as a term. But it's a cool little horror slash RPG type deal, and it was based off a movie. I'd actually gotten the movie, I'd found it subtitled on YouTube and checked that out. But the game itself was really cool. You just switch between a bunch of characters, all have their own powers and stuff, and that's how you get from point A to point B, by switching between all of them. You get into turn-based combat and stuff, and it had like little loading scenes, you know, that you'd see with like the doors opening and shit, and some of the stuff was semi kind of graphic for at least back then. You know, you didn't see a whole lot of horror games on the NES because it just wasn't really a thing. But yeah, so Sweet Home would definitely be the top of it. And next up would be Clock Tower, because I like that whole bunch. So, haha! Man of few words asks, AlphaOmegaSin, what do you think about the Adventure Island series? It's my favorite series of all time. Adventure Island is fucking badass. I had played Adventure Island 2 a whole bunch. I mean, fucking tons. I had played Adventure Island 3 a whole bunch. Then eventually I got around to playing the first Adventure Island, but the second one, I had played so many goddamn times, and it wasn't until, like, I was in my 20s that I ended up finding out about the Wonder Boy series, which essentially is where Adventure Island ended up coming from. And I didn't know about that because I didn't have a Sega Master System, and I didn't know about any of that shit. But Adventure Island in general, just Master Higgins running around with his little fucking tomahawk and shit and riding the dinosaurs. And the things I remember so often, like going around on the big ass world map and stuff, if I had one of the dinosaurs, I would try to be so fucking careful with them because they look so cute. And they would deal so much damage. You just fuck up everything with them, and they also gave you an extra hit technically, so you wanted to keep them around because they were kind of like a armor in a lot of ways. But because they're like your companion and shit, you didn't want anything to happen to them. And if they would die or get hit or something, I would be so fucking upset, like, little high pitched fucking little mini OmegaSin angry fucking growl and shit. But it was just cool. And then they had Super Adventure Island on SNES. I know they had a sequel. I never played the sequel. I've wanted to, but I never got the chance. As a matter of fact, I think there's a isn't there an Adventure Island 4 on Famicom? I want to say that there is, but I can't remember off the top of my head. If there is, I haven't gotten to play it. I swear that there is, though. But Adventure Island, yes, I do like the series a whole bunch. It's a big part of my 8 and 16-bit childhood. So, in Super Adventure Island, if you're ever going to play one of those, anybody who's listening to this right now, Adventure Island 2 and Super Adventure Island, I always put at the top of that list as far as the Adventure Island series. That's just my personal preference, so I would check those out. They're very fucking cool, and I like them a whole bunch. Young Boxer 56 asks, can you laugh like Mandark in your next video? Shoot! Ha ha ha! 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 I think that's about is. I don't have Dexter to just you know, shit all over and stuff. I don't have my own version of Dee Dee, but like, Dee Dee! But yeah, so that's my Mandark laugh. If I was ever going to be in any kind of show, I would definitely have a laugh. But my evil laugh would be like... or some shit like that. Super... And Disgaea always taught me that one of the most important aspects of being an overlord is to laugh. And it's very true. So thank you, Laharl. Orlando Velasco asks, which is your favorite Contra game? Mine is either Contra 3 or Hardcore Uprising. Makes me so damn happy that somebody even recognizes Hardcore Uprising. That game is fucking amazing. Amazing! It's made by the Guilty Gear team and the Blaze Blue team. Like, everybody ought to be playing that. Guilty Gear music plus Contra and RPG mechanics are just fucking amazing. It's so damn cool. It just makes me sad. Print that shit on a physical disc, Konami. Holy balls, why don't you do that? It's like the most fucking radical tits game that you've put out in such a long time. And most motherfuckers don't even know about it. That's heartbreaking. That is fucking heart-wrenching. Personal favorite for me, though, oh man, that is tough because there's so many good Contra games. So many good Contra games! I mean, the first Contra game, and always pick the Famicom version of Contra, by the way, it's so much better, it just is. They seriously fucking gypped us, as far as I'm concerned. But the first one just had such a big-ass impact on me, especially after I finally beat the game, because I had tried so fucking hard to go and best that game. Then there's Contra Hardcore on the Sega Genesis / Mega Drive, but that one I still can't beat. My best friend, well, one of my best friends, Sean, claims that he beat the game, and I swear he's full of shit, because that game is fucking tough. Like, the balls to the wall, that'll put you through puberty. You could be 6. You eventually just get a fucking beard like this. Just instantaneous, no, I'm a man. Oh man, oh man, oh man. But, oh man, it's too tough. I don't know what to pick. I like Uprising too. Oh fuck, Contra 3 is really good, and Super C is good, just... And you know what, Neo Contra, nobody ever really cares about that. I'm just like, why? That one, it's good, it's good. Fuck. What to pick? I'm on the spot now. You know, I'm gonna go with Hardcore Uprising, for the fuck of it, just because that one, I mean, like I had said, I made a big deal of it. No! Fuck it, it's a tie between that and the first Contra. Bam! There you go! I can do that. It's my video. I make the rules! Oh! So, yeah. And if I had to pick a close second, it'd be Hardcore on Sega Genesis. Yeah! Optimus N64 asks, in total, how many PlayStation 2 games you got? Are you a PlayStation guy, Xbox guy, or both? In total for PlayStation 2, I have 359 PlayStation 2 games. That is way too many fucking PlayStation 2 games. But for some reason around my area, I could just keep finding them for dirt cheap. You don't understand. I'm talking like $1 to $2.50. Thanks, Exchange. The Exchange is just like a big game franchise store thing, retailer, blah blah blah. Doesn't matter, I got lots of cheap games there. But anywhere I'd go, I just found them for dirt ass cheap because they were so common. So I ended up accumulating a lot for next to nothing. And also, it's one of my favorite systems. So that helps too. But as for, am I a PlayStation guy, Xbox guy, or both? Naturally, I'm both. I don't give a fuck about just having like an allegiance towards any one system or company or platform or anything like that. Fuck all that, I'm a gamer. Meaning, I go where the games are. So that's pretty much my stance on it. Forever and ever until my pulse runs out, and even in the afterlife, my opinion will still remain the same. Earl Laurie asks, what deck do you run in Magic the Gathering? I have so many fucking decks in Magic, the shit's retarded as fuck to even think about. There's so many! Oh, okay. To begin with, I've been playing Magic for eon. I literally started back in Mirage. That was the very first set I ever bought a booster pack from. But let's see, fuck me running up a hill and then back down in a landslide of nothing but fucking sexual majesty. I have a way with words sometimes. Let's see, okay. Some of the decks that I primarily end up running in Magic, I have a really kick-ass vampire deck that I've gotten to run surprisingly fast. I gravitate towards creature decks. I don't know why. They're always really fun. They were the first decks that I ever became really proficient in building, let alone actually using. But I have that. I have an extort deck that's pretty cool. I've been able to kill somebody on turn 2 to turn 3, which is kind of ridiculous if you ask me. There's also an infinite loop combo that I built into it. So I'm kind of proud of that. I have an Eldrazi deck, which a lot of people shat all over Eldrazi. They're like, oh, they're fucking useless because they're so expensive. Bullshit, I'm able to get them out on turn 2, turn 3, depending on what kind of hand I have. But those decks I like a whole bunch. I also had a really bitchin' burn deck, but then I found out that one of the combos I was using technically didn't work the way that I thought it did because we got real detailed with all the rules and shit. So, and the deck still functions just fine, just that the one combo that I had in it was such a badass combo, and I was like, no! Why? 8 damage. It's like, oh fuck! Yeah! Yeah! But, oh man, I'm trying to think of what else. I have a Relentless Rats deck, but I'm trying to rebuild that because I want to turn into something else. My Elf deck was probably the first deck that I ever had that was really, really scary that people wanted to avoid. Then my other best friend Jared was like, I'm gonna build an Elf deck too! And then we had like the same Elf decks. So, and we would team up sometimes to go into Team Magic, so it would just be like a gajillion elves out within only a couple turns and a whole bunch of really crazy chaotic shit. So, yeah. Those would be some of the decks that I run in Magic. Magic. Jazz hands. Chaos, Theosis, I can't even fucking read what the hell it says right now, it doesn't matter. So anyway, if you went on a dumpster dive and found an Xbox One, a PlayStation 4, or a Wii U, and you can only take one, what would you take and why? Simple, I take an Xbox One. And before you start going, boo, or yay, I already have a PlayStation 4, and I have a Nintendo Wii U. So it means I'm just missing one system. Bam! Xbox One. I'd have all 3. My brother has an Xbox One sitting right in the living room, so that's why he ended up getting it, because he was like, well, you already have the other 2 systems. If I want to play those, I'll just play one of yours. So if I went dumpster diving, that's the one that I would end up picking. So, yeah. I'd have all 3 systems. Should be one of the very first times ever that, so early on within a console generation, that I would have all 3 systems. That has never ever happened to me. Most times I only have one of the systems until like midway through the console generation. Then I'm fortunate enough and the system is cheap enough that I can afford to get the next one and invest into it. But I never get to have all 3. Like back in the 32-bit days, man, I wish I could have had a Sega Saturn. Back then, I didn't get it until like way later on. But yeah, that would have been nice. I have PlayStation and Nintendo 64, so yeah. All that sadness. Power frown tone. So, Xbox One would be my pick. Bet nobody expected that too. Ralphie Dog 1 asks, Chodes! In all caps. What is your favorite turn-based strategy game series? I'd have to say mine is Shining Force, with Shining Force 2 as my all-time favorite. And I would have to say that you have exceptionally good taste. Shining Force is a really awesome series. I end up liking Shining Force CD a whole bunch as my personal favorite. Shining Darkness is pretty good too. But that's mostly due to nostalgia and stuff. But as for my personal preference, I would have to say the Disgaea series. Ever since the very first Disgaea Hour of Darkness, I've gotten all of the Disgaea games. As a matter of fact, I like Disgaea Hour of Darkness so much, I got it on PlayStation Portable, PSP, and I got it on the Nintendo DS, in addition to my PlayStation 2 copy. And I put more hours into that game than I have into a lot of games. I'm talking like several hundred hours. Actual gameplay hours invested into it. I got Disgaea 2, played that, got Disgaea 3, and I didn't really like that until I got to try it on the Vita. The Vita version actually has all the DLC on it. Way back in the day when I was first doing this channel, I made a specific video ranting about the DLC for Disgaea 3 because I thought it was bullshit. They took all the stuff out that traditionally that you would unlock that are in the game, and they're fucking nickel and diming you for it. So the PlayStation 3 version's all fucked to hell and back, and the Vita version has all of it inside of it, the way that it should be. So I was happy about that, and then Disgaea 4, Disgaea D2, there's just so many Disgaea games. Disgaea 5 is going to be coming out for PS4, so I'm happy about that, and I can't wait for that game. So the Disgaea series, and it was crazy because when I played turn-based strategy RPGs a whole bunch, but I thought, like, you know, I got into Final Fantasy Tactics and the Ogre Battle and Tactics Ogre series, Shining Force and stuff, but none of them went as insane as Disgaea did, and the fact that it had a very anime feel to it, and I like anime. As a matter of fact, the Disgaea anime is quite good, so if you're a fan of the series, you should go and check that out. But yeah, I just thought that they took the basic formula of what made the genre so compelling and then just went insane with it. You know, the item world, going in front of the entire group of people and getting them to vote on random shit, all the different characters, the extra endings that they included and stuff. There was just so much shit that they had in it. It was nuts. So I love the living fuck out of Disgaea games, and yeah, so they get my top spot. Joe Wright asks, "Hey Alpha, if an alien from another planet visited Earth, and it was your job to introduce them to metal, if you could only pick one band, which band would you pick to represent Earth's gift to the universe?" That is such a hard question to answer. Just one? There's so many bands that encompass every single thing that makes metal as awesome as it is. I mean, I would probably end up leaning towards the founding fathers of metal, and, oh man, but who would I pick out of the bunch? If I could only pick one. Fuck, man. That's killing me. I'm gonna have to go out on a limb and say Iron Maiden. I am. And everybody's going to be entitled to their opinion, and that's absolutely fine. Iron Maiden's going to end up being my pick for something like that just because they offer such a big-time, awesome catalog of albums that through and through are fucking amazing. Like, Iron Maiden is amazing. And, you know, whenever they switched up singers, shit was kind of iffy there. I know some people were just like, yeah, but it's all about Bruce. All about Bruce. But they're fucking amazing. And they're one of the few bands that I love to death and have not gotten to see live. And that fucking kills me inside. But, you know, Judas Priest is just as worthy of an answer. Black Sabbath is just as worthy of an answer. You know, some people will be like, well, what about Metallica or Slayer and Pantera and stuff? But I'm going to have to go with Iron Maiden. Just because Iron Maiden's one of those bands that no matter what subgenre of metal that you're into, whether you're into black metal or death metal, whether you're into grindcore, whether you're into speed metal, whether you're into progressive, whatever it is that you're into, Iron Maiden at the very least is a band that you can look at and you can respect, because they essentially are like part of the foundation of what made metal what it is. So, and one of the best goddamn things that ever come out of England. So, yeah. That Iron Maiden, you will be the gift of the universe to aliens. Let them know that metal is fucking badass shit. I mean, just let them know that this is the power of fucking awesome shit. Also, we miss you, Dio. Mr. Gork asks, what would you say makes someone a true fan of a game franchise? I've been into Resident Evil for a while, and I plan to purchase every title in the series, although I will never have a beastly collection like you. I just want to ask something kind of relevant, since some people are always pissing in each other's faces, saying they know more about a certain thing than most, and assuming they're cooler instead of sharing their experiences. That's about it. Oh wait, and what the hell is this place anyway? The thing is, an answer like this is going to change depending on the individual. So from person to person, the definition of what makes a person a true fan of whatever it is, and not just gaming, of anything out there, whether it's music, whether it's books, whether it's TV shows, whether it's movies, anything, it's going to change from person to person. People feel that if you weren't a fan from the beginning, that you're not technically a real fan. Like, if you don't show up until, you know, several years after the entire boom and explosion of the entire franchise, you know, obviously you're just jumping on the bandwagon. If you don't know every single detail about every single character and every single part of every single world and every single level and anything and everything that has to do with the franchise, then obviously you aren't a true fan because you're not invested enough. If you don't own every single piece of merchandise from it, if you aren't able to quote every single thing from every single character, from every single little thing, if you don't write fan fiction about it, there's so many things that's, like, there's truly, absolutely 100%, no, 500% invested fans into some things that are just like, I fucking love everything about this, that will end up wanting to go and piss on other people. And I say, just fuck other people's opinions about shit. Look at it like that. If you're a fan of it and you consider yourself a fan, that's all that matters. It's your opinion that matters. That's it. You know, if you only played one game out of an entire fucking franchise and you said, I'm really liking this series, is somebody going to be able to come over and fucking dictate whether or not you're going to? No, they're not judge and fucking jury of it. You know, and that's the thing. At the end of the day, just worry about what you think, and that's really about it. You know, if you're going to allow other people to go and fuck with how you feel about shit, chances are you aren't going to be able to be as interested and enjoy it as much as you want to, because essentially you're going to end up associating that game series or TV show series or whatever the fuck it is, you're going to end up associating that franchise with the negativity that some of the fan base may have brought to your doorstep, and that's not something that you want to deal with, so fuck all that noise. So, yeah, there you go. Words of wisdom from AlphaOmegaSin. Oh, 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 oh. Still rocking 1995 asks, here's a question, what's your favorite music from any of the games you've played? Also, chodes! With exclamation points and ones. There's so many fucking games that I have all the music and even some of the actual soundtracks. As a matter of fact, 2 of the games that I'm going to list off, I do have the physical soundtracks, which I'm going to get right now while I'm talking because I feel that is at the very least worth the time to. But 2 of them, and 2 of my favorite games of all time, no less, Castlevania Symphony of Night soundtrack and the Final Fantasy VII soundtrack, the original soundtrack. I've had these since back in the day when they first came out. I got both these off eBay too. But Final Fantasy VII, Castlevania Symphony of Night, just absolutely amazing soundtracks. Like, I can hum along with every single tune in them, and even do like little acapella, fucking not quite Smooth McGroove, but at least you tried versions of stuff. But other ones, I actually thrown a list out, but Guilty Gear, Double Dragon Neon, F-Zero X, Thunder Force 4, Ace Combat 2. Holy fuck. Okay, F-Zero X is one of the best soundtracks to ever come from any Nintendo game ever. It is nothing but absolute guitar shredding, and it matches up with the F-Zero games. I implore you, please go find F-Zero X Guitar Arrange. Find that soundtrack. You will be so fucking happy that you did. But Nintendo, for all F-Zero games, whoever you got to compose that music for that particular game, continue that. It would, oh my god, it was fucking amazing. Like, if F-Zero GX had that soundtrack, bar none, I've just been like, nothing but a nuclear fucking jizz-splosion all over the fucking place. Beyond that, okay, what else I list off? Double Dragon Neon. Okay, I love the Double Dragon games. Double Dragon 2 has one of my favorite soundtracks ever, especially on the NES. I think the NES had better music than even, like, the arcade versions of the games and stuff, which is kind of weird to think about, but I don't know what the fuck they do. It's just that fucking sound chip, just amazing stuff. But Double Dragon Neon, they just went all out. And there's people like, well, I don't like the songs where they're singing and shit. And there's only a couple of those, but for some reason, I even like those. But all it is, like, really badass metal. And everything, again, is just take the traditional Double Dragon music that you have and add guitars to it. And then the songs for Skullmageddon. Skullmageddon's bad as fuck, by the way. He's like, imagine Cobra Commander voicing one of the main villains in a Double Dragon game and just does not give a fuck. He's also tough as hell the first time that you fight him if you aren't all, like, beefy and strong and stuff. Holy fuck. But anyway, Thunder Force 4, Metal Squad. That's all you need to know. Just find the song Metal Squad It's right in the title, Metal Squad. As you can tell, I'm one of those people that I like things that are like hard rocking and metal and fucking guitar and drums and fucking speed and all that shit. Thunder Force 4 is one of the best Sega Genesis soundtracks ever. It's also one of the best shooters that I've ever played. Like, Thunder Force 4 is the shit. And if anybody's wondering, like, Thunder Force 4, Lightning Force, because they, like, who the fuck thought, like, we need to go and fuck up this name so bad? I mean, you have Thunder Force 1, 2, and 3 here, Lightning Force. You fucking idiots. But anyway, so Thunder Force 4, absolutely fucking amazing. Cannot beat that game, though. It is so fucking hard. I love the game to death. It's just really, really difficult. And Ace Combat 2, just want to toss that one in there for the sheer shits and giggles of it. If you were going to listen to that soundtrack, it's one of the best that Namco's ever had. And that is the fucking god-honest truth. It's also the best out of all of the Ace Combat / Air Combat games. Air Combat is a close second, but does not touch Ace Combat. The rest of the series doesn't have music nearly as good. They're fucking laughable by comparison. But Ace Combat, listen to Warning Line and Bear Tracks and Fire Young Man. Those songs are the shit right there. I fucking love those a whole bunch. So yeah, those soundtracks I throw out as like, amazing! Oh! And there's so many others, but out of all the game soundtracks ever, if somebody said, Alpha, what is your all-time favorite? Guilty Gear. Every single Guilty Gear. Every Guilty Gear has amazing music. Guilty Gear is just the shit. Like, holy fuck, it's so good. It's nothing but badass fucking shredding. It's the most metal soundtrack. Some people are like, what about Brutal Legend? That doesn't count, because guess what? That's just licensed shit. Guilty Gear is the most metal soundtrack. So fucking metal. So metal! 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 Like, it makes me so fucking happy to go and think about. But Guilty Gear, Blaze Blue, and put those together in one big fucking crockpot, and I'm like, oh my god, all this music. Oh man, I fucking love it. So Guilty Gear, yeah, Guilty Gear is the shit. If you can, get the soundtrack, get the discography, download. I don't give a fuck, go on YouTube and listen to it. You have to, because it's all good. They're literally, it's just, nothing bad, just all good. God, is it good. So fucking good. I seriously came a little. Oh yeah. Crusty shorts. Gonna have them. KMX4202 asks, what irritates you more? A good game that gets no press at all, or a bad game that gets huge press? Keep up the good work and love the vids, bro. It does piss me off whenever a shitty game gets tons of press and tons of sales and stuff, and it gets all these fucking accolades and tons of people are talking about that nonstop. But it actually irritates me more whenever an amazing title just gets swept under the carpet and nobody checks it out. That's one of the things that I try to do, like, on my YouTube channel every so often, is tell people about random games, like, hey, check this out, because it's extremely amazing. And it's kind of difficult to go and do, because to be honest, most people end up wanting to go and invest in things that they're already familiar with, or things that they heard somebody else talking about already. So they're just like, I never heard of that, so why the fuck am I going to click on it? And that sucks, because me personally, I end up liking niche games a whole lot. Like, whenever I'm making top list of shit, you know, from year to year to year, I'm mentioning games nobody fucking gave a fuck about. Like, okay, 2014, who the hell played Murdered Soul Suspect? I'm alone! That's just, it's one of those prime examples, and you know, and that's just one random ass game, you know, like, okay, that's one fucking game that a lot of people, I don't get. Like, when the PlayStation 3 launched, Folklore, why the fuck wasn't anybody playing that? PlayStation 2 was on its way out. God Hand, Yakuza 1 and 2, those came out at the end of its life. I'm like, what the fuck aren't people playing these? I understand that when a console is on its way out, you know, you're not going to end up buying a lot of games on, but I already have all the systems still. I don't get rid of them, so I'm still picking up games. I'm like, why did everybody stop picking up these? Why? What? Oh, fuck. 3D Dog Game Heroes on PlayStation 3. One of the best games Atlas has ever put out, and it's one of the best Legend of Zelda games. You might be like, wait a minute, what the fuck are you talking about? Yes, one of the best Legend of Zelda games. I shit you not. Like, I'm literally not shitting you. See? This is me, not shitting you at all. What else? Snatcher on Sega CD is one of my all-time favorite games, period. Most people only care about it because it's expensive, and that makes me sad. Like, the game is fucking awesome. It has some of the coolest music, one of the best stories ever. Fantastic voice acting, amazing graphics, like absolutely amazing sprite work. I fucking love that to death. But no, I'm gonna just look around my room right now for the fuck of it and be like, I'm going to go and pick out these games just because I can. Ikaruga, however most people want to ever go and say it, one of the best shooters ever in the entire world. Speaking of really great shooters, Einhander on PlayStation 1. Speaking of PlayStation 1, Koudelka, which is a predecessor to one of the best games on PlayStation 2, which is Shadow Hearts, and Shadow Hearts is one of the best RPGs on the system altogether, and one of the best RPGs on the system in my opinion, and it's from the Tales series, it's Tales of the Abyss, but that one gets overlooked a whole bunch. I don't understand why. Granted, Tales of Vesperia is my all-time favorite, but Tales of the Abyss is fucking great, and Tales of Vesperia, absolutely fantastic game, and one of my other favorite 360 games, Deadly Premonition, and the list goes on and on and on and on, and a lot of those games just get overlooked, and people just keep on buying the games that sell millions and millions and millions and millions and get all this fanfare. I'm like, sad. All this sadness. You have to understand, like, and here, I was talking about it yesterday, Haunting Ground. I still actually have it sitting right there, but Haunting Ground, fucking amazing. Nobody really bought it. I would actually like to see that game get re-released in HD along with some other shit if Capcom could ever do that. Capcom, can you fucking hear me? Also, the Onimusha games, put that together in a collection. I could go on for fucking years, as you can tell. So yeah, my answer is awesome games that just nobody ever pays attention to. That bothers me the most and makes me sad, but that's why it's up to us to spread them word of mouth. That's not really perverted. Yeah, really perverted. Delta Heatran asks, Happy New Year, Alpha! What are your top video game abilities you'd like to have / wish you could have? The range includes weapons, mechs, you name it. In terms of a limit, I guess 3 to 5 just to keep things going for everyone else's questions. Alright, so I actually had thought about this and I wrote it down because I didn't want to go and forget because there's so many superpowers, but I want it to be one of the most overpowered things in the entire known universe. So I'm going to have 3 actual abilities from video games. The first one is Doom Guy's God Mode from the Doom games. Nothing can kill you. Nothing at all. It does not matter. It's God Mode. You are literally an unstoppable force to be reckoned with. Hell itself is going to quake in their fucking little hooves at the sight of you showing up and obliterating the fuck out of everything. You can go up and punch everything to death. Fuck the BFG. Your fist, that's all that you need at the end of the day. Also, I'd like them to incorporate the Duke Nukem boot because punching and kicking things way fucking cooler. In addition to that, the Katamari Ball. Somebody might be like, what? Why that? Katamari Damacy. I love the Katamari games, by the way. But the Katamari Ball can roll up anything and everything. Anything that exists can be attached to this ball. And it just keeps getting bigger and bigger. And the only thing that can stop you is a time limit. And guess what? They have Eternal Mode, where you can just keep going. And eventually you can roll up the fucking universe. The entire universe, all the cosmos, King of the Cosmos, like, yeah, do your thing. So God himself is telling you to roll up the universe, and then he's going to go and critique you and score you on it. And if you do a sucky job, then he gets all fucking evil and scary and shit. I always love those points in the game. And it's like, damn, you're kind of a dickhead of a dad. Just point it out. But your fucking dress code is the shit. You're a bad looking motherfucker, all Liberace and shit. You look like you came straight out of a fucking Prince video. Purple Rain. And the last thing that I picked for superpower, the Minecraft building ability. Minecraft, you can build anything that you want. Now to combine this with the destructive powers of God Mode and the Katamari Ball, which can roll up the universe, I could go and recreate the entire universe in my image, and I'm God. Oh man, you motherfuckers are all screwed. All I need is like the Dr. Claw glove, and then like a cat. My cats are around the house somewhere. I have 2 cats, but I could have them like dual wielding petting cats, because that's how evil I am. Then I can get the Dr. Evil left. Like, but yeah. So I combined all that shit together, and there's other superpowers and stuff like it. Yeah, and just imagine if I had the Star Power, the Mega Mushroom, and the P-Wing from Super Mario, and combine those together. You know what you are? You are airborne rape. Just, what's that? Ah! Everything that you touch flies out of existence and is fucking gone for good. Just gone. So yeah, I picked those three. Just putting it out there. I need to make a video just talking about superpowers. I think I will at some point. Doesn't matter. Anyway, so yeah, I picked those. Guy Who Pays the Rent asks, non-gaming related question, what movie are you most looking forward to in 2015? I don't get to go to the movie theater as much as I would like to, but there are 3 movies that I'm looking forward to a whole bunch. I can't be like, oh, this one over this one. Lots of you already know I'm looking forward to Star Wars Episode 7. I made a video just reacting to the little short mini clip trailer type thing that they had released. If you haven't seen that video, it's uploaded, so go click on it, I guess. But anyway, so Star Wars Episode 7. Beyond that, if you follow me on Facebook or Twitter, you probably seen me post this a little bit ago whenever they first unveiled it, but the trailer for Mad Max looks fucking awesome. Holy shit, does it seem fantastic in every single way. I was worried. Like, there's not a lot of movie remakes out there that honestly are all that great. Most of the time I see them, I'm like, you lost the fucking plot. For real, just fuck off now. But Mad Max looks even, just that trailer looks even better than the original. That blew my mind. And then there's the Mad Max game coming out for a PlayStation 4, and if it's anything like that movie trailer, holy fuck, I'm jumping on that shit immediately. But Mad Max, it looked too fucking cool. If you get the chance, watch the trailer, you'll understand why I'm just like all bug-eyed and shit as if like I'm in some kind of cartoon. There's like that was close enough for one of those sound effects, right? Yeah, I guess. And then the new Avengers, Age of Ultron, oh my god, okay. I liked the Avengers a lot. I thought that movie was fucking really cool, but this new one looks way darker, way more evil in tone and shit. I'm just like, that looks pretty goddamn badass. I need that. I need that all up in here, right in my tummy. But I can't wait to go see that. I'll end up going and see that in theaters, just like I did with the original Avengers. Big time superhero movies like going and seeing in theaters. It just makes me happy. Take a whole bunch of my friends and stuff, and then we take up like one entire row, and we're just like all happy and shit. So yeah. So Mad Max, Star Wars Episode 7, Avengers, those are currently what I'm looking forward to most. I don't know, there's a whole bunch of other movies that are coming out, but I haven't kept up on them, but those ones I definitely know about, and I want to see a whole bunch. Paul Pomosky asks, who is your favorite WWE wrestler of all time? Favorite wrestler of all time? Stone Cold Steve Austin, the Rattlesnake, the Bad Motherfucker, the Bionic Redneck, and all the other different names that he's gone by, like Stunning Steve Austin and the Ringmaster and other shit. But Stone Cold was my favorite wrestler. So, as a matter of fact, I like Stone Cold so much. I wore a Stone Cold shirt to school, and it got me kicked out for the day because I refused to take the shirt off and turn it inside out. It said 100% pure whoop ass on it, and teacher was like, you can't wear that in school. I was like, well, I'm not changing it. And then they called my mom. My mom was like, well, I bought him the shirt. They're like, well, he refused to change it, and she said good. And then I got to go home, and mom was just like, fuck them. And she was like, just don't wear it anymore or else you'll get kicked out and stuff. But yeah, wrestling, always a big part of my life, but Stone Cold, to me, was always the top of my list because he's just a really badass dude. You know, all against authority and shit, and got to do whatever the hell he wanted, was in so many segments, had so many good rivalries with The Rock, Stone Cold, Triple H and stuff. Just, there were so fucking many, and he was entertaining as shit. He actually has a good podcast. I liked his finishing move, all his fucking jaw jacker and shit, but the way that people would sell, like The Rock would sell it so goddamn much. He'd like be a pancake and like fucking do ultra flips and stuff. But no, just Stone Cold, yeah, he's number one for me, always will be. I fucking love the hell out of him. Jay Jones asks, here's a question for you. If you had the power to place yourself in a video game of your choice, what game would you put yourself in? I would have to go and pick the Pokemon universe. Actually, I made a video talking about this, but fuck it, I'll go and talk about it again. Ha 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 ha, I can go and do that. But the Pokemon universe just seems like a really cool universe to hang out in. I'm sorry, but that place seems pretty fucking sweet. I go around, I have Pokemon trading cards, I have my Pokemon, I'm just going and battling people and stuff. Like, nobody wants to get into a physical altercation. They just bust out Pokemon and just go and fight. There is no PETA to go and ruin things. You have, like, Team Magma and Team Rocket and Team, well, we're just going to fucking ruin your day and all the other shit. And they show up to go and, you know, fuck up with everything. Admittedly, I'd probably want to join the Nah, I couldn't join the bad guys. I'd have to go and be like a Lone Ranger type deal. I'd want to be the rival. If anything, I'd want to be Red. In Pokemon, I'd want to show up, and I'm just all like, dot, dot, dot. And I'm like, no, please. I'm like, max level Pokemon and shit, or close to max level, like level 70 and shit. But that universe, Brutal Legend would be a cool-ass universe to live in as well, just because it's a world made around heavy metal. That sounds so fucking sweet. Like, in every single possible fashion, that sounds awesome, and I would love something like that. Like, that's fucking killer. Just imagine, you just jump in your fucking hot rod, you're driving around, you can go visit Ozzy and shit, you can go visit Lemmy, you can go hang out, fucking listen to Motorhead and stuff. That idea alone makes me so happy. And so many times, I just sat inside the car just to listen to music. I'm like, yeah, this is really fucking cool. I like this a whole bunch. I'm not even playing the game. I'm literally just listening to music. Like, that is fucking killer. That is, like, in every single way. And again, I've done the same exact thing in, like, Saints Row and Grand Theft Auto. So it helps whenever games have really good soundtracks. That's all I'm saying. So I guess those would be the two universes that I would pick, bar none above everything else, just because they seem pretty fucking cool to me. So. Alright, that'll conclude part 1, numero uno. Red ROM. It'll conclude part 1 of my answer addition to the Q&A video. Like I said, I'm going to be uploading more of these, so don't worry. There's definitely more coming, because there were so many fucking questions. So many! Like, I answered over 20 here, something like that. I forget the exact number. But anyhow, I hope that you enjoyed this and stuff. Give me a thumb up for giving a fuck. Look, I got halfway through my water bottle. Just by going and doing this stuff. Matter of fact, I'm taking a sip right now. But I have lots more questions to go and answer, and I have to say this just because it's noteworthy enough. Thank you all a whole bunch for even asking these questions and posting them and stuff. I do appreciate a whole bunch. I just hope that you actually enjoy the video and stuff, and you check it out and stuff and all the other shit. So, enough being mushy, you little fucking bitch! So anyway, I'll conclude this video. Like always, nerds, nerdettes, and gamers, game the fuck on.